Let's have a look at how we can intelligently use AI to help us to be able to win more business in recruitment without burning our brand or our reputation with overly generic mass mail that we're sending either through LinkedIn or on email. Because if there's one thing that I've learned in the 30 years that I've spent working in the recruitment industry, the art to selling is simply this: speak to the right person on the right day in the right business about the right subject. Those four things make life so much easier from a sales conversion perspective. And if we were to add a fifth, make it easy to say yes. The component that is often missing is a lack of definition as to who the ICP is. Too frequently I talk to agency owners or consultants about their definition of their market, and it's too ambiguous. It often starts with the word anyone. Anyone who is in banking who recruits Java professionals. They attempt to refine it into something that feels more granular, yet it misses so much of the nuance, so much of the detail. And it's nuance and detail that helps us to be able to craft compelling messages. Because when we're able to describe our ICP with this level of granularity, and we can define our service offering with this level of granularity, and we show how the two fit together, we achieve more sales. So what I've built is an ICP builder. It's an AI assistant that I've crafted in ChatGPT. His name is Lars. Lars will help you to get true definition on who your audience is, and will then help you to develop the buying personas of the people who sit inside it. So rather than me talk about Lars, let me show you. Let me bring him up on screen, and we'll create a ICP for a notional recruitment desk so that we're able to bring to life the process of using AI without feeling as though we have dehumanized the approach. Because if there's one thing in AI that's super powerful, it's its capability to do research. It's its capability to listen. Lars is predominantly a listening device. Lars helps you to be able to listen to what's going on in your market so that you can create more curated lists of target clients. So you can see here, we have Lars up on screen. Lars will help us to be able to define exactly who we wish to do business with, the buying personas who sit inside it, and then help us to be able to craft outreach if we want to create digital messaging to help to improve the number of meetings that we book and the number of clients that we onboard. So I'm down here in the prompt window at the moment. I use something called Whisper. I find life much easier to be able to talk with the AI rather than type, because I find that typing slows down my thinking process and I can sometimes become a little too clunky or a bit too corporate. I'd much rather talk with flowing speech. Lars, I'd like to build my ICP and particularly ensure that I'm focused on the right manufacturing businesses that work with the food industry. Organizations that have manufacturing facilities where they're either processing, refining, or creating food products for the supermarket industry. Companies that are involved with fresh produce, companies that may be involved with meat production, meat processing. And I appreciate that there could well be some segmentation that exists in this. And that segmentation, I'd like you to help me to identify where those segments should actually be created. I particularly want to focus on developing my recruitment business to help these organizations hire within maintenance and engineering. This is often a place where a lack of headcount can have a serious impact on productivity. When a machine goes down and reactive maintenance needs to take place, the business is going to struggle to be able to meet the demands of the contracts that it's serving. So now I've given Lars the brief. Having done that with Whisper, it now drops it into the prompt and we send it on its merry way. So now Lars goes out there to do some thinking, do some analysis. I've given Lars some very strict instructions as to where I would like it to look, what it actually does, and how it brings back the information. So you can see here, it's now started to come back 7 seconds of thinking. It talks about the validity of the sector, a £42 billion sector to the UK economy, close to 500,000 people working in it, cost pressures, labour shortages and automation are all creating challenges. Food manufacturing, engineering and maintenance. Core ICP definition is now outlined. ICP segmentation. Segment 1, high volume chilled, ready meal and convenience foods. 250 to 3,000 employees, 50 to £1 billion in terms of revenue, and starts to describe why this is attractive. It gives me the unique business challenges, it gives me the hiring challenges and the preferences in those organizations, the sales planning implications, and the best triggers to start to identify. So as we see these triggers, new production lines, new contract volumes, night shift vacancies, high spend with agencies, poor machine availability, all of these become triggers that we can set to help us to be able to identify leads that sit inside these ICPs. We get a definition for the likely buyers. We have a second segment, meat, poultry and seafood. It then again gives us the same answers. We then have segment 3, fresh produce, packers, preparations of food. And then as we continue through, we have a fourth segment. And now that it's given me the segmentations, it gives me best fit ICP prioritizations. Number 1, it's saying chilled. Number 2, it's saying meat. Third, it's saying bakery. And then it gives me a selectivity to start to pursue things within packing. So packing has got less processing taking place. And then it gives me some firmographics as to the things that it feels that I should be embracing. So now that it's completed the report, I don't need to show you the whole report, right? Do your own work, right? Even if you feel that you've got nailed down your marketplace, talk to Lars to see if you can identify some subsectors, to see if you can find the niches that sit inside the niches. The more you talk to Lars about the successes that you've had and the places that you've done well, the more it helps to refine things. So I wanted to get to the bottom of the report, because it now says, would I like to refine it further, like tighten the ICP? Would I like to define a buyer persona or benchmark a real business? So I'm going to benchmark a real business so that you can see how it starts to create interpretations from the ICP based upon a real business. And if we benchmark a real business quickly, yeah, let's benchmark a real business. Let's take a look at New Prime Bake, who are based in Nantwich. So I've asked it to have a look at a particular business that I used to recruit for. It'll now take the company and it will do a litmus test to test the definitions of the ICP against a real organisation. If this shows me that there is a strong match, I just need to tell it which of the ICPs that is selected, so I reinforce its own choice. Now that we've got it off doing that comparison, it gives me a litmus test to be able to see how strong is my ICP definition. And then from this, I can start to build my own list of leads of organizations that sit inside that wheelhouse. So we'll let it do its thinking for a moment. The third thing that Lars is able to do, it's the creation of the buying personas. The creation of the buying personas is so powerful because when we've got clarity on who the right authority is that sits inside the organizations that we're targeting, and we know what it is that matters to them, what drives them to make decisions to support their business, we can start to show up, talk to them about the genuine problems and challenges that they face, which is the one piece of messaging that is most important. They care less about you and your business than they do themselves and their business. So when we show up cold, we need to show them the mirror, not talk at them as a potential supplier. So we can now see that we've got a match here, a summary score breakdown, scoring based upon firmographics, growth signals, people maturity, market visibility and strategic fit. 85 out of 100. So now that it's given me a score for that, I can go back and I can either refine my ICP or I can provide a larger list of organizations that I'd want to target, and it can start to do some work for me to help me to be able to refine my top 25 target companies, my top 500 target companies. If we then go to the bottom and I ask it to create a buyer persona for a head of engineering, so it now thinks about what are going to be the
pressure points, what are going to be the triggers that is going to create responses from people in that particular role. We have a persona name, we have a title, we have a segmentation, we have a level of seniority, we have a definition on their mandate, we have a strategic landscape. It now starts to build something that if we shared this with another AI assistant or with Claude to say create an email or multimedia campaign that engages with this profile of person in this profile of organization, you'll start to see a big uptick in terms of the quantity and quality of responses that you're getting from your cold outreach, whether you're choosing to use phone, preference one, you're using email, or you're using LinkedIn messaging, or you're creating a multimedia campaign that also involves the use of things such as video and the postal service. Links are available so that you can get access to Lars. Feel free to continue to use Lars for as long as you wish. Totally free to be able to access. It is on your tokens that you're using it. If you would like to build your own version of Lars, check out the work that I've done in AI for recruiters.co.uk. There are 5 ICPs that I've built and shared all of the prompts for it. The prompts for Lars will be appearing in there over the coming weeks. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and I'd be happy to help.